everybody, just a quick little video. Do you have a guitar toolkit? This is my guitar toolkit. This has been accumulated over, I don't know, 30, 40 years of playing, odds and ends that I have put together. I keep it in this tin here. This is like, it was like a sewing box, or we got some, what was it? It was cookies. I think it was like some Danish cookies or something. But anyway, this was a good little box that just worked really good for me over the years, and I've just kept everything in here. And so let's see what I keep in my guitar toolkit. Okay, let me go through some things here. Okay, basic screwdriver, straight slot, big and little one. Let's see here. Gonna set this off to the side here. You're gonna hear some noise in the microphone there. This is a piece of rawhide. I use this basically to hang my guitars. I just got tossed in there. Let's see here. All kinds of Allen wrenches for adjusting bridges. A little tiny pair of pliers, which is really good for like when your volume knobs become loose, or maybe your output jack on your guitar gets kind of loose. Dump that back over there. Needle nose pliers always comes in handy, and I've got a couple of those and a pair of wire snips for snipping off the ends of the strings. A little short little screwdriver. This is the thing that comes in really handy for making like bridge saddle adjustments on a Tune-o-matic bridge, or maybe adjusting pickup height. Okay, these are spare bone saddle blanks. I've got several in there, and I've got a couple of my spares. Like I told you in another video, I make winter and summer saddles for some of my guitars, and so this is where I keep the ones for the off season. A wire stripper, kind of handy if you ever get like on a gate where you gotta like rewire or something, put a cable back together. That comes in pretty handy. A wrench that's used for, this is the size for tightening up the, you know, where your tuning machines go through the head, and you have that little nut that goes across there. This is the one that fits most guitars. There's the two different settings there, so that works really good. Little bitty tape measure. This kind of comes in kind of handy sometimes. Guitar string crank. I got a couple of these in here. Tuning fork. Tuning fork. Before electronic guitar tuners were invented, this is what you use to tune your guitar with, either that or a pitch pipe, and this is not affected by humidity. The way you use these, you whack it on your knee and then you touch to the top of your guitar. I did it here next to the microphone. This is tuned to an A, so a tuning fork is kind of a pretty handy thing to do if you don't have a tuner for batteries. Once upon a time, I actually, when I was in the Air Force, I got sent on temporary duty, and I forgot to take a tuning fork with me, and I was trying to figure out how to tune my guitar and get it somewhere in pitch, and the old CNN little tagline thing where they would go, "This is CNN," and it had this little theme going, da 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 da. That long note, there was a B flat. I used to, whenever I needed a tune, that kid played that at least once every half hour, and so I would use that to tune with. Nail file. Never know you're gonna need a nail file, especially at a gig. Oh, let's see here. A little rubber foot that you use to, like, you know, to like for a wire. It's like a wire that's inside the body of the guitar or something like that. If you get a wire that comes loose. A Sharpie. A Sharpie comes in handy for a lot of stuff. You can fix some dings on a black guitar too with a Sharpie, just in a pinch. Nut driver. You can always use a nut driver for something. Okay, this is like an Allen wrench, like a set with a whole bunch of different settings of them here. This is real handy to have. Other kind of stuff. Oh, this is a slick little tool I picked up years ago. These are basically files, little files that you can use for nut slots. The big ones, like for a basin. Oh, there goes the dogs. My pizza's here. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. That was the Domino's man. My dogs are going nuts over that. Solder. Might need some solder sometimes. I don't carry soldering iron with me, but I just keep the solder in here. It can be pretty handy. A little tiny Phillips head screwdriver. A little piece of sandpaper. This can be kind of handy sometime. What else we got here? Feeler gauge for measuring fret height. Chapstick. Chapstick, not for you, for the guitar. You get nut slots that kind of squeak. So some people use graphite or something like that For years, I've just taken a little bit of chapstick, run it across the top of the nut, and even with the strings in the slot, it'll seep down in there, and it keeps them from kind of binding up. It works pretty good. Okay, let's see here. I'm getting down to, this is the piece of like an old library card. I also have some pieces of old credit cards that I've cut down to be shims. Every now and again, maybe you get a severe climate change or something like this. If you're traveling and your guitar all of a sudden is the action's too low, well, you can pop the strings off, pull the saddle out, put this up underneath, and it's just a little thin piece of plastic. This is a blank that you can use to cut more of these. But you can make little shims underneath there. Because I play banjo-guitar too, I've got a banjo-guitar like a tensioner. Little tiny piece of steel wool. Anything else? There's a few odds and ends and screws and stuff. Let's see here. A little tiny rubber washer that you can use as a strap lock. That's all the real interesting stuff in there. Then there's mostly this little tiny little Allen wrenches for adjusting like bridges on Fender type guitars and that kind of stuff. I also have a couple of little nuts in there that you'd have like around an output jack. So in case it fell out during the gig, you could replace one of those. So this has been my tried and true kind of companion. Goes with me everywhere. Got a couple extra bridge pins. A little bit of everything. So do you have a kit that you take with you? This all crams into this little bitty box here, and there's more stuff in here I didn't show you. But it's not all that interesting, and some of it's just junk that just ends up in the bottom of it. But this has been a lifesaver a lot of times at gigs. And whenever I need to have all my guitar tools in here, this seems to work really good. And it's good and sturdy, made out of metal. All right, so that's my guitar kit for doing the maintenance on my guitars. What's yours like? What kind of stuff do you suggest for a novice guitar player to keep on hand to be able to keep his guitar in peak performing condition, and if you and something that you might really want to have at a gig, maybe a couple of 9-volt batteries, a couple of extra ones for pedals, an extra little cord or something like that. So, but that doesn't all go in here. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Catch you next time. Bye.